Hey guys, so this is going to be my labor and delivery video. If you watched my last video, you'll know that I had my profile and my doctor's appointment and everything went great there. So later that night, it was November the 10th at 1 o'clock, I had went to the bathroom and I lost a huge piece of my mucus plug. That was kind of gross. I mean, I knew it was going to happen, but I didn't realize just how big it actually was. So that was that. Then November 13th, which was the Sunday, I woke up at 10:30 and I was still losing more of the mucus plug. There was a little bit of blood in it. Following that, I also got some back pain and pressure like in my butt area. Since my mom had planned on being at the delivery and staying with us for a couple days after the baby was born, we went to pick her up at noon, and I was still having contractions at that point. They weren't that bad at all. They started to get really bad at 6 o'clock that evening, and we had actually gone to the hospital just to get everything checked out. The nurse there checked me, and I was 2 centimeters dilated, and she had actually sent us home because I was going to be induced the very next morning. 9:45, I lost even more of the mucus plug, and this mucus plug, I've never known that it was that much of it. I always thought it was just a little tiny plug, but there's actually a lot that comes out. So my mom and I watched a movie, and we had gone to bed, I think it was 10:30 around there, and at that point my contractions were horrible. I couldn't fall asleep. And my boyfriend was upstairs at his brother's house watching the football game. And I remember the only way that I could find relief was by just sitting on the toilet. It felt like I had to take a poop. But yeah, I couldn't lay down or get any rest. I tried sleeping with my pillows propped up. I tried on my back, on my side, and nothing worked. My mom started counting my contractions at 12:46, and I have them written down. They were about 4 minutes apart. Some were 3 minutes apart, and they lasted about a minute each. So yeah, when it got to the point where I was crying and I couldn't think about anything else but the pain, we loaded up all the bags and we went back to the hospital at 1:30. So we got to the hospital, they checked me, and I was still only about 2 to 3 centimeters dilated. They kept me in the hospital because I was being induced the next morning at 7. The nurse gave me a shot of morphine just so that I could relax and get some sleep. But I really didn't get that much sleep. I kept waking up and still going to the bathroom. I think I might have slept for maybe an hour. I can't remember if it was 6 or 6:30. But I woke up and I was having the worst contractions. Like, they were worse than before. And I was also bleeding quite a bit, and I guess that was just from my cervix opening and dilating more. So my mom called the nurse in, and she came and checked me, and I was 8 centimeters. So from 1:30 to 6, I had gone from 2 to 3 to 8 centimeters. So they were going to bring me into a delivery room. I remember on the way down to the delivery room, I asked if I could get an epidural, and the nurse told me yes. At that point I knew that it was too late for me to get one because I was basically ready to push the baby out. So I was really scared that I was going to have no pain management whatsoever. And at that point I was getting really nervous of how bad it was going to hurt. They hooked me up to an IV, and the on-call doctor, she came in and broke my water. And I really didn't like her at all. She didn't really make any effort to talk to me or, ask me anything about what I wanted with the birth or anything. But, yeah, she wasn't my doctor, so I knew that my doctor would be there because they were going to call him, and he knew that I was going to be in there anyway. So not that long after they broke my water, I was told that I could push with my contractions, so at 6:45 I started pushing with the contractions. And they gave me nitrous oxide, which is like the laughing gas, for pain management, and I really didn't find that that helped with anything. It just made my lips really dry. So yeah, that kind of sucked. Pushing for me didn't come really easy. I didn't think I'd be able to do it, and I know that the baby was slightly turned a certain way, so they moved me onto my side and had me pushed that way. One of the nurses there, her name was actually Sarah too, and she was amazing. I remember a couple times I said that I didn't think I could do it, and she really coached me through, saying that I could do it and that the pain was going to be over as soon as the baby was out. So I just bared down and basically gave it everything I had in me and pushed her out. She was born at 8:26 a.m. so I was in labor for less than 24 hours from the time contractions started to the time that she was born. And she was 9 pounds, 1.5 ounces, and 22 inches long. So she was a pretty big girl for considering how small I am. I had 3 stitches and I tore naturally. I didn't have to be cut or anything like that. As soon as the baby was born, they took her away into the warmer, and she wasn't crying, which I know is kind of weird because you always see babies cry when they first come out. And so like all these nurses and a couple doctors came in and they were checking her out, and I knew that something was wrong. So I asked, why isn't my baby crying? And they weren't really giving us any answers. The room was really quiet. I know my mom and my boyfriend, baby's dad, didn't want to say anything that was going to upset me, they said, but I knew that something wasn't right. After a couple minutes, it felt like forever. She cried, and then I cried, and I guess my mom got teary. But she was okay. She just had a little bit of trouble breathing when she first came out. But yeah, she is perfect. And after they made sure that she was okay and they dried her off and everything, they put her on my chest for skin to skin, and I got to breastfeed, which was great because she latched right on. She was brought to the NICU from about 10 that morning to 4 in the afternoon, and that felt like the longest time ever, not knowing what's going on and not having your baby with you right after you've had her. That was scary. But I got to see her. We went down to the NICU, and I was going to feed her, but I started bleeding, so we left, and I let them know that they could give her some formula to get her sugar back up. Overall, I would say my labor was excellent. I couldn't have asked for anything better. I'd say the contractions were the worst part of it. Of course, pushing her out wasn't exactly fun, but it wasn't the most painful part. And right after she was born, honestly, all the pain just goes away. And the only thing that I could think of after I had her was her and how she was doing. So yeah, it's true what they say, you forget all about the pain as soon as you see your baby. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I know it's really quick, but I didn't really have too much to talk about, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye!